while we get everything set up here. And tonight I've got a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, joining me. He is about ready to release his first single. We're going to talk about that as well as some other things. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mark Perkins. Mark, how you doing, buddy?
Good, George. How you doing?
Doing good after that totally botched intro that I tried not to botch, but I did anyway.
We'll forgive you.
That's all right, man. That's all right. Hey, technology is a wonderful thing till you screw it up, and then it's all downhill from there.
You got that right.
I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors tonight, Go Tuners. If you haven't checked them out yet, they are the go-to tuner for professional and amateurs alike. GoGoTuners.com. Also to Heart Coffee. Check them out. Heart, the number 2, heartcoffee.com. They're the coffee that gives back. And the reason I saved this one for last is because Mark is kind of one of their, how should I call it, endorsees, I guess. And that is Civvy's Apparel. Now, if you haven't checked out Civvy's, there you go. You haven't checked that. I started to wear mine, but I don't have a hoodie. So
I love
a
this thing.
long T-shirt and a couple of T-shirts. But Civvy's is it's a fantastic apparel company. They take retired military uniforms and incorporate that into their designs. And I love what they say. It's worn by heroes and made with respect. That's Civvies. So be sure to check them out. Excuse me while I wet my whistle here.
Go ahead. I'm doing the same. I got some Three Rangers whiskey right here.
Yeah, we're not going to go there. I've been in contact with a certain Three Ranger, and he just avoids me about getting down here for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Oh, no.
He does, and I'm like, listen, I'm not going to mention names, but Dale Sizemore. We're actually planning to invade Nashville next month. So,
oh, heck yeah. That'll be
that
fun.
will be exciting, and looking forward to that. So, how have you been, man? We haven't talked in a minute.
I know. Been crazy. Just working, trying to figure out how to be a dad in the last 5 months and
Mhm.
trying to kick this music thing off as big as we can coming into 2022. So all the above been great though. Music's going real good. Writing's going real good. Got a single dropping soon.
Mhm.
And it's been crazy the past couple months.
It's really good because I mean, of course, Mark and I have known each other for a couple of years now and been following his career on all of his social media and trying to keep an eye on how things are going. And every once in a while, I'll get something. It's like it doesn't pop up in your feed constantly. And if you don't follow
Yeah.
them on Instagram, and you don't go to their specific page, you may never find it there. Um,
Yeah.
uh, it's been exciting to see how things have spun up for you of late because I mean 2 years ago when we first started talking, you were actually on the day that we talked, you were in a hotel room because you're a reservist, and you were in a hotel waiting to be, I guess for lack of a better word, deployed.
Yeah. So we were actually last time we talked, I was actually downtown St. Louis in a hotel room, waiting to be called out for duty for the riots and
Right.
crazy times. I had to sneak down in the conference room that they were not allowing anybody in just to kind of record a podcast episode with you. And I mean, it was a good break from reality because the reality that we were living in then was just crazy. I mean,
Oh man.
sitting in a Humvee for 12 hours, getting pee bottles, stuff thrown at you, cuss
Wow.
words thrown at you, just trying to sit there and protect your own city. It's kind of crazy. So
Yeah, that's just nuts, man. But thank goodness this time it's a little bit better circumstances. So
yeah.
we can talk about it a lot more. So one thing I got to ask before we start, because well, I mean we are going to start, but I kind of want to get into talking about you. I mean, how did you get started into music?
So I got started into music kind of differently than most people do. I got a guitar when I was 10 years old. Like I received a drum set when I was 11 and started picking up piano lessons here and there. My parents actually hired a professional piano teacher to come to our house and teach me piano. And then being the young dumb self I was, not really knowing what to do, I kind of just dropped piano I was actually one blue ribbon away from winning a full ride scholarship to Washington University up here in St. Louis.
Wow.
And being the young dumb self I was, I just quit and never really sang in front of anybody until about 2.5, 3 years ago. When I got back from basic training, I picked up the guitar that my parents had got me at 10 years old that was sitting under my bed, covered in dust. Not a single string was in tune. I restrung it and I started playing around on YouTube trying to teach myself how to play guitar, and from there it kind of spun off of that. I reached out to one of the local guys that I went to high school with that I knew kind of played guitar and whatnot, and so we started jamming together and whatnot, and then he's like, "Let's start playing some small coffee shops and some small bars." And so I did one open mic at a
Mhm.
coffee shop and couldn't stand it. I was so afraid to sing in front of people. And then I think what really, I don't know if it was everything that I went through basic training that got me to the point to say, hey, I got back from basic training and I said, hey, let's do this. And from there, I started playing acoustic gigs. And then 3 months down the line, I got a drummer. And after that, I was like, let's get a bass player, let's get a full band going. I love this. And so after that, it's just been the ball's been rolling, and I couldn't be more happy to have music in my life now than anything.
Yeah, and I mean, just from the times I've only seen you a couple of times, and that's both of those time have been at Freedom Jam. But the energy that you bring to your show is just amazing because, you can have people kind of just sitting there and they're all talking, doing the normal thing when they sit and there's a band playing. A lot of times it's background noise, but you don't spend a lot of time on the stage if they're doing that. You tend to jump out to the crowd and get them going, and that's always a good thing. Gets them up on their feet, and then it's just off and running from there.
Yeah. Um, my motto at a show is if there's one single person sitting down, you're not doing your job right.
Right.
While you are sitting there writing songs, playing music, you're there for a bigger picture. You're in the entertainment industry. And so if people are not being entertained, you're not doing your job. So that's kind of where I like to live off of on stage. I mean, if I see something in the crowd having fun, I go out there with them. I'm having just as much fun. That's
Mhm.
my time away from everything in life is up there on that stage. I can set myself free and really let loose. And I like to know that people are still having that same fun that I'm having up there on that stage as they are down there in that crowd. So
Yeah, I mean, I know the first Freedom Jam was kind of a little bit of things were going on. COVID had just started. There was a lot of unrest and stuff like that, and you were kind of the I guess you call the opener for the headliner that night, and you came on right before them, if I remember right. I know you did the last one,
yeah,
and you just absolutely tore it up and got everybody psyched out for the headliner, and people were up and having a good time, and heard a lot of good feedback from everybody, from artists to people that were in the crowd both times about how good of a show that you put on and how you get into it. And the band really rocks out. They don't just sit back on their boot heels, and no pun intended with where I'm at, but they don't sit back and just allow things to, they don't let you do all the work, which is good. They really
yeah.
get into it.
Yeah, me and my band, we've had a lot of conversations and talks, and like I said before, you're in the entertainment industry. We're there to entertain people, and so we can't have me sitting there running around the stage and my guitar player just sitting there rocking his head back and forth. We all got to be in it. We all got to be having fun, and so that's part of having fun up there for us, and part of being entertaining.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's hard to have that kind of a interaction on stage when you got, because I think if I remember right, you've got four other guys in the band.
Yeah, it's me and four other guys. So
And
big old family.
sometimes, yeah, sometimes it just, that interaction is hard to come by, but you guys do it so well. And I'm going to embarrass myself because off the top of my head, and I have to apologize, I can't remember his name, but I'm a big fan of your drummer. Um, he, he's
Yeah,
he's a super cool guy and a hell of a drummer, man.
yeah, he's awesome.
Not that I'm not a big fan of the other guys. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to leave Andrew out.
Oh God,
Andrew is just as animated and go at it as anybody on that stage. I mean, he
that dude is
plays
crazy.
guitar, he plays fiddle. He's an Air Force veteran, and he just tears it up too.
Yeah, we actually, it was funny you mentioned that. So, we just had the guys from Lost Lake Media Company come down to the farm, and they shot our music video that's supposed to be dropping right after. I'm not going to say release date yet, but
Right.
so they came out and shot the music video for 12 Ounces Away, and Lance pulled me, or yeah, Landon pulled me aside, and he's like, "Does your fiddle player have a rubber band inside of his cowboy hat that holds that thing on?" Because he was just rocking out, and it was just going right along there with him. And it's Andrew's crazy, man. He's awesome.
I always wondered if he had it like stapled to the top of his head or something. Because I mean,
I
he
wouldn't
just
doubt it.
that hat goes nowhere.
Nowhere. I mean, even
Absolutely.
at this last Freedom Jam we had, and how much he was sweating, I don't think I seen it move once.
Oh no, I didn't either. And he was tearing it up, man.
Oh
He
yeah.
poor guy. I felt bad
Uh,
for him. And that was it was a great night, but golly, it was hot. Oh my gosh, 110 that day.
yeah.
We had
I
a
don't think I've ever sweat that much at a show. I think there's one picture from the show that actually you can see I was singing a note and there's like sweat coming right out of my mouth, like I was just spitting water out.
oh, it was terrible because I don't usually sweat a whole lot, but I changed shirts 3 times that day. I mean, I was all over the place trying to make sure everybody was, all the acts were ready to go when they were supposed to go, and trying to get the stage set up and everything, and it was just like, oh my gosh. I went through a ton of water, probably wore more than I drank because it was so hot, and
Oh
then we
yeah,
had a storm come up and stuff, but it was a good time, and we're looking forward to doing it some more as
for sure.
well. But tell me about some of your influences of your music.
Yeah, so my biggest influence, and always will be and always has been, is I mean, I grew up, so I kind of grew up differently from other country artists. I grew up listening to classic rock, a little bit of punk rock, 90s rock. I have my youngest sister from me is 20, well, 17 years older than me. So I was a little miracle, but I grew up listening to anything from Styx, Def Leppard, REO Speedwagon, all the way to Blink 182, Sum 41, all that stuff. And so some of my biggest influences, and it's probably just because it was one of my first concerts, was Styx. Um, and a lot of that comes from my father. We grew up on Saturday mornings listening. My mom would wake us up to her cleaning the house, and my dad rocking out the Sticks over the stereo system in our house, and
Wow.
so I grew up watching music videos, seeing concerts of Styx, and everything. So that's probably one of my biggest influences on music. Period. Now, when it comes to country music, definitely Brooks and Dunn. Um, just their energy on stage and their their well being to be that as old as they are and still have as great of a voices as they have and as much energy as they still have back in the day. It's just mind blowing to me. So
Yeah, I was. Did you see the? You were probably playing, so I doubt you did. But on New Year's Eve, they had the big bash down in Nashville, and
yeah,
Brooke and Dunn were playing. I think it was Jason Aldean's bar they were in,
yeah,
and it was unbelievable. Quick shout out to one of your Freedom Jam sisters, and that would be Molly Lovett, because
yeah.
Molly, we were sitting here watching the show when Brooks and Dunn were on, and they go to the crowd, and I look at my wife and I go, I think that was Molly. And she's like, "No way." And then they cut back to Brooks and Dunn. Then they cut back to her, and it was, and like 4 times,
Holy crap!
Molly's getting FaceTime on TV, and we took
Heck
pictures
yeah,
of it we sent to her. And
that's awesome.
so that was super awesome that she was she was out there, and for it to be Brooks and Dunn, that was just super cool too.
Oh
Because
yeah,
of course they had to do golly. I can see the song. I hate when I do that because I know their music front and back, but I play so much of it. But it's the one everybody's doing the TikTok to now.
Neon Moon.
Neon Moon, yes, gosh. And I think they were doing that one the first time they went to her. So, and I'm a huge Brooks and Dunn fan. I mean, I love
Heck
those
yeah.
guys and would love to see them live sometime. That's one of my bucket list artists. Them and Garth Brooks are two of the
Yeah.
ones. I've had an opportunity to see Garth twice, but things have come up to where I've had to back out of it. And that's just been, kind of a bummer, but just so much. And your show, whenever you do Brooks, because you do a couple of their songs in your set, you may do more than that, but I think the last show you did a couple, Brooks and Dunn, and man, you talk about tearing it up. Now you were just spot on.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, they're real big influences. So I feel as a musician myself, I gotta kind of kill their songs. Do it the best as I can, and just I don't know. I love Brooks and Dunn, so
Yeah, I mean, they fit into your style perfectly. I will tell you that. And so that's really awesome. Now, beside the influences, you've got you had a single out, you got the new one out that we're going to talk about. I actually get to world premiere this song. You don't think I'm excited? Y'all are out of your mind. I get to world premiere it here in just a bit. But when it comes to writing, who would you say were your writing influences as far as the music you want to write?
so my writing influences, it's kind of red dirt country
Mhm.
style. I like so with being influenced by both rock music and country music. Some of the red dirt stuff fits right in my wheelhouse, and so writing styles, I kind of call it a clean version of Co Wetzel
Mhm.
meets Cody Johnson meets Brooks and Dunn,
Okay. Okay.
if that makes any kind of sense.
Makes absolute sense to me.
Yeah, so
Yeah, because I mean Cole and Cody and again Brooks and Dunn. I mean, I love Cody Johnson too. He's just an amazing guy, and he doesn't care. If you don't like his political view, too bad. He's gonna give it to you anyway.
yes, sir.
Yeah. If you don't want to hear it, then you paid your money, get up and walk out.
Exactly, exactly.
And so he's a really awesome guy. He was just here in Cape not long ago, and
Yeah,
I got to see a couple of songs he did, but I didn't get to stay for the whole show, which was kind of disappointing. But I had to get back home.
gotcha. Yeah, we're actually going to see him March 19th, I think. He's coming to Chaffetz Arena out here in St. Louis, so
Okay,
we're gonna go see him.
all right,
We
awesome.
just got done watching his new documentary. That's a good one if you haven't checked it out.
I have not. I'll have to check that out. What's that on?
It's on Amazon Prime right now. It's called Deer Rodeo.
Okay, all right.
Really
Yeah,
good, really good.
isn't that the song? That's the song he and Reba did together, wasn't it? What
Yeah, yeah.
title of the song? Okay,
Mhm.
all right. So now one of the things, and this got me kind of excited the other day. I know, and you do a lot of shows up in the St. Louis area because that's where you're from. You do a lot of stuff at Game Six, Honky Tonk, and then over in is it Bellevue? Um,
You talking about Washy's Saloon out in Waterloo, Illinois?
yeah,
Yeah.
Washington. That's it, out Waterloo. And then I saw that Game Six is opening another place.
Heck
Uh,
yeah, we're
should
super
be up
pumped
here
about it.
before long, called the Garage.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it looks amazing. If you guys haven't checked out Game 6 Honky Tonk Joint, go on Facebook and check them out. Ryan and JB are great guys. And they're opening actually a venue 2 doors down from Game 6 called The Garage, and it's supposed to be bigger, better, and better. So can't wait
awesome.
to see that go up.
Awesome. Yeah, I've seen the pictures of it and just kind of I haven't talked to JB in a while to kind of find out, how things were going and so I'm kind of excited to see that venue open because
Heck
that's gonna
yeah.
be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
And um, so that's super cool. Sorry, I've got a message on here and I'm not quite sure what it is, but we're gonna put them in timeout. Sorry. Bye.
Oh no.
I hope that
Oh
was
no.
you know. But So tell me, you mentioned earlier that you just became and you just became a new dad about 5 months ago. And how's he doing?
He's doing amazing. We couldn't ask for anything better than a healthy boy, and that's exactly what we got. Tate is just hit 5 months and as healthy as can be. So can't thank
That's
God
awesome.
enough for that.
Now, is that short for Tater?
That's actually one of his nicknames. We call him
Like
Tater,
Ron
Tater
White?
Tot. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we
They call
call
me
him. Yeah,
Tater.
exactly. Yeah, if y'all ever seen Yellowstone, that's actually where we got the name. And my dad calls him. We'll be watching Yellowstone on Sunday nights and be like, Tater, Tater, come here. Like, what are you doing?
That's awesome. That is so awesome. So I mean, how is it how's it feeling being a new dad when you're doing the music thing?
Yeah, it's definitely new. It's kind of easy. I have my amazing wife, who's actually sitting upstairs. Just put him down to sleep. But she's supportive 100% of the time, and so that's where between her and my parents, we couldn't, and everybody actually around us in our family, I have such a strong support group that makes trying to pursue music just the easiest thing there is. So I couldn't thank them more than enough. But it's definitely new and it's definitely hard. We're about to actually, I guess, kind of go on the road this next 2 weeks. And that's going to be the first time kind of being away from them and within a 2 day span, 2, 3 day span. So we'll
Right.
see how that goes. But yeah, I got such a strong support group behind me. It's not even funny.
Now, how long of a run are you on?
It's only so this time we're only going down to Poplar Bluff, Missouri, so it's not too far, and we're playing a Saturday night, so it's just gonna be one night for this time. But we got a couple more runs coming up. I think in April we're going down and hitting close to the Chicago area. We'll be hitting the Bloomington, Illinois before that up at Six Strings Club, and then going down to Mickey Finn's Pub out in April.
Okay.
So
Now, where are you playing at Poplar Bluff?
we are playing, it's a newer venue called Forum 5050, actually. I'm doing it with a buddy of mine called named Daniel Kearns and one of his friends. So we got put on the bill, and I mean, he asked me to tag along, and I was like, heck yeah, I'll play
Yeah.
some music out of town. I can't really turn that down. So yeah, we're gonna hit up Forum 5050, see how it is.
Yeah, that's downtown, I think, like on Vine Street.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
actually on Vine Street. So
yeah. So, I mean, I've seen some stuff about it, and I know about where it's at. Got Mark Palmieri on tonight. Mark is a part of the Three Rangers crew, so um, Mark giving a big shout out to him via drink. Look at that!
yes,
Look at that!
sir. I had to finish the bottle tonight.
Yeah, and so that's yeah. I've got several empties here, but I don't have any of them that have anything in it. That's the bad part.
I'm out now, so
That's, which doesn't sound good. I've
yeah.
got several empties. Oh, but so let me ask you this for a bit. Whenever you were like getting into the music and stuff, were were your friends into it with you, or was that kind of a one of those odd times in your life, or how would you consider that?
Yeah, so none of my friends are really with me. I don't have really, I mean, other than the guy that I reached out to, which actually I found him on Craigslist, and then it so happened that we went to high school with each other. I never really had any friends that were into music, playing it at least. So it's kind of one of those things. I've always been a team sports guy. I grew up going to high school and middle school with my two best friends who brought me into motocross racing. So I've always done that with them. I've always done team sports. So this is kind of my first. It was kind of one of those things that I kind of went out on a limb and said, "Hey, I'm going to try this and see where it goes." And now I'm fully committed. So there's
Right,
no turning back.
right. So a totally different team, actually. Um,
Yeah.
So, if you had to classify the music that you play, because this is a way, and I say this and have said it before, country is kind of fragmented into different subgenres. You've got country music, but then you've got classic country, you've got red dirt, you've got country rock, you've got country pop, you've got hip hop, all this different stuff. If you had to classify the songs that you write, I mean, your original stuff, which subgenre would you put that in, or is it even in a subgenre, or is it just country?
It's definitely in a subgenre. One, maybe not even, maybe more than one. It could be classified as country rock or red dirt kind of.
Mhm.
And you'll kind of see that in my new single coming out, 12 ounces away. It hits that more heavy rock style of country music, and so I would definitely classify myself as country rock.
Okay. All right. Well, we've kind of kept them in suspense here for a little bit. So we've talked about 12 ounces away. Let's play it and let them give it a listen, and then they can respond afterwards. How's that?
Heck yeah.
All right. So again, before Nashville being brought to you by Go Tuners, the go-to tuners for professional and amateur musicians. You can check them out at gogotuners.com. Also, we've got Civvies Apparel, which I'll put Civvies in the middle this time. Worn by heroes and made with respect. It's super awesome. Also, we've got Heart to Heart Coffee. You can go check them out. Great coffee. You can get a subscription for that at heart2coffee.com. And we'll throw Three Rangers in there since Palmieri's on, Three Rangers whiskey. A great whiskey if you can find it anywhere. Sorry, Mark. But absolutely check these guys out. All of our sponsors. We got a great bunch of sponsors. So without further ado, let's just do this. And we're going to play 12 ounces away from Mark Perkins right here on Before Nashville.
Introducing the country stars of tomorrow to the country fans of today. Here's a Before Nashville world premiere.
Another betrayed memory. You were just pretending to be true. Thought you'd always have my back. Now there's a knife buried deep inside. Why the attack? I don't know where we went wrong. I thought our bond was strong. Now it's gone, so here I am, getting 12 ounces away. Will feel no pain on these memories will be thrown away. Oh, how I finally feel free from all these bottomed out truths that were coming from you, that we way back onto our youth. There won't be no foul play when I'm 12 ounces away. Another night out on the town, time to paint it red all up and down. Knock 'em back like it's going out of style. This night is gonna last a long while. It finally catches up to me. I know the end is right in front of me. Looks like I could almost be another 12 ounces away. I feel no pain on these memories will be thrown away. Oh, how I finally feel free from all these bottomed out truths that were coming on you, that we way back onto our youth. There won't be no foul play. We're now 12 ounces away. no pain, all these memories will be thrown away. Oh, how I finally feel free from all these bottomed out truths that were coming from you, that we way back onto all you. It won't be no foul play. We're now 12 months away. Oh, yeah. We're now 12 months away. Oh, yeah.
All right, Mark Perkins and 12 Ounces Away. That's a great song, man. It is definitely rocking.
Yeah.
You know, good stuff.
Thank you.
And it's where did give me the backstory on the song? Where did it come from?
So, I mean, like everybody probably has, you got that one friend who kind of has been there your whole life and kind of stabbed you in the back. And so it came from that. And then my fiddle player, Andrew, who is a big part of that song, who actually wrote most of the lyrics along with me. He had a buddy of his almost lose his life to drunk driving. Actually did lose his life to drunk driving. So originally in that second verse, it said, "I know the end is right in front of me. I swerved and missed a big old maple tree." And so he kind of, but then we changed it to, "I know the end is," or we changed it to it, "I know the end is right in front of me." And so kind of the same suicide type reference to that. And so along with military service, unfortunately, comes a lot of numbers of suicides. And so Andrew had that connection with him, and so he brought that into the song. And so that's kind of where the backstory comes, is backstabbing friends. And I mean, I guess bad influences on alcohol and being 12 ounces away from kind of both letting go of backstabbing friends and being 12 ounces away from nearly kind of ending your life. And so it's kind of got two back meanings to the song. And so we brought both of those in as one, and 12 ounces away. So
Wow. Yeah, when you mentioned about the military and all, I mean, Mark Palmieri and Three Rangers Foundation, they do a lot of work with veterans who are kind of on that teeter totter, if you want to call it that, you know.
Right.
And you know, as Mark said, there's a lot of numbers. 22 veterans commit suicide every day, and that's really quite sad when you consider what they've done and the price that they paid. And that's what they wind up doing, because a lot of times it's just hopelessness and no help, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, a lot of it has to do with the PTSD that they get from overseas action, and yeah, just not being able to kind of support themselves and kind of giving up on it. And
Right.
so if there's anybody that's watching that is even close to thinking about doing that, please reach out to myself. Mark Palmieri is a number one guy to go to as well. But yeah, it's a big travesty in the world today, is suicides
Absolutely.
in the military. So
Absolutely. So, the song has, as we introed it, you know, it was a world premiere. It has not been released to the general public yet, and Mark so graciously gave me permission to go ahead and premiere it, and that I was super thankful for. Tom Goodlow said to tell you he's watching. I don't know if you
how
can
you
see the
doing?
comment center down here. Um, we've got several comments. I try to pop those up every once in a while. And as Mark Palmieri says, you know, never alone.
Exactly.
Everybody's got, you know, somebody. But looking at that song and your future, where are you wanting to be in the next 5 years?
So my end goal, I've always said it as a kid. I know I kind of just said that I didn't get into music till kind of about 10, 12 years old, but as
Hmm.
a kid, I've always gone to concerts at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater,
Hmm.
what used to be Riverport here in St. Louis. And so
Right.
I've my biggest dream is to be on that stage and sell that arena out to all my friends and family and anybody that supports me. And so I think that's my end goal completely, is to play the biggest stage out there, and to kind of be the biggest thing, not the biggest thing in country music, but to have my music reach people and to be able to communicate with people kind of like 12 ounces away.
Right.
And like Mark said, never alone. And I don't know. I want to be playing the biggest stages out there. I don't know.
Right.
I've always seen myself entertaining people, whether it's in sports. Um, I mean, I've pretty much done every sport known to man. Kickboxing, entertaining in that industry, and now music. And so I just want to entertain people. If I love being up there on that stage and seeing people dance and seeing people have fun and seeing people smile. So if I can do that on the biggest stage, I think that's where I want to be.
Absolutely. So, again, using our crystal ball and looking ahead, let's see, Tate's 5 months old. So let's look ahead 15 years. And he comes to you and says, and here you are, you're following your dream, be it big or small. I mean, it really doesn't matter. I mean, we want you to be as big as possible, but big or small. But he comes to you and says, Dad, I want to be a musician. What do you feel like is the best piece of advice that you can give him?
Never say no to anybody. I mean, I've personally had tons of people tell me, "Hey, you're 24 years old and you're in a band. Um, what are you doing with your life? You're working a dead end job and still in a bar band." That's probably my biggest advice is don't take no for an answer. A lot of people are going to tell you no, but don't ever let anybody shoot your dreams down. Um, and I'll tell that to anybody, including my son. But
Right.
yeah, just never take no for an answer. Follow your
Abs-
dreams and shoot for being the biggest thing you can be.
Absolutely. So now I'm going to pick your brain a minute.
Okay.
I'm going to make you think. Couple of questions here. First off, I want to ask you if there was, what is the one song that you go, damn, why didn't I write that song?
Hmm. There's a lot of songs that I say that to myself every day. Um, that's a tough one because like I'll be listening to Spotify and another song will pop up and I'll be like, why did I not write that song? Or why couldn't I have been in that mental state to be able to get those words out of my brain on paper?
Right.
Um, I don't know. Let's see. Probably the most recent one. Um, I don't know. I guess we can go with kind of my new anthem. Is Luke Combs doing this?
Yeah.
I mean, that is kind of my motto. If I don't know. I'm not that big. I'm not as big as Luke Combs. I hope to be one
Right.
day, but yeah, I mean, he says in his song, "I have a Friday night crowd in the palm of my hands," and
Right.
if that's all I ever get, I mean, so be it. If there's a Friday night at my local Dog Prairie Tavern, a small little honky tonk,
Hmm.
and there's people packed from the back corner to my face, singing every song, dancing, so be it. I'll take that every Friday night.
Yeah. Absolutely. Um, Now we're going to shift to this because, again, we'll say, we'll just stick with Tate's age, 15 years um, down the road. You're headlining stadiums across the country, living your dream, and you're getting ready to go out on a new tour, and you can take two artists with you, and you're going to handpick them. Doesn't matter what their status is right now. You don't even look at that. It's just who are the two artists that you would say, hey, I want you to come tour with me?
So one, he doesn't have any music. probably not even singing in front of anybody right now, is the guy who got me into music. And well, I think he's kind of nervous to get in front of people and sing. But my buddy Kevin Urbeck, he got me into music. He's definitely coming on tour, and I don't know. I kind of got to shoot big for this one too, because I definitely want to go on tour with somebody big. Probably, I don't know. I'm really influenced by Travis Denning.
Hmm.
Hell of a guitar player, really good lyricist. So I'd say, yeah, Travis Denning is definitely number one. And I don't know. I was just thinking of one. I can't remember what I was thinking now. ADHD is kicking in real bad.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. It's like, oh gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, you put me on the spot, and I got to think real quick.
Oh, it ain't over.
You ain't lying.
Uh,
Yeah, Travis Denning, and screw it, let's go with Luke Combs. He's
okay,
I've been following him since day one. And I would argue with anybody who says differently, but I think he's probably the best lyricist in country music to date. Um, in time right now. I
right,
mean, to not pick up a guitar until you're 21 years old, um, and to be able to sell your first album and first single out and sell it gold and put it on the number one charts for weeks at a time is just crazy
right,
to me.
right.
So definitely Luke Combs.
So if to kind of change it up, who would you like to go on tour and support? Open for. What's one act you'd
I
like to?
mean, at this time, I mean, I'd be honored to go on tour with anybody, but if I had to pick one, probably Luke Combs as well. Just, I mean, the amount of turnouts he has at his shows, to the amount of supporting fans that he has. Yeah, I'd pick Luke Combs again.
Yeah, he's
I
definitely
kind of
got
like
that.
his.
Um, Tons of support. I mean, he's such just an awesome guy. I mean, got that Midas touch. Every song he's put out's been gold, at least.
Yeah, it's
If
crazy.
not, more. Um, so what are the future plans? I mean, are we looking at after 12 ounces away, some more songs coming out, an album
Yeah,
in the
so
next
actually, we
6
are.
months?
Yeah, so next 6 months, probably even maybe sooner, if we can get some studio time under our belts. We are working on either a long EP or a
Mhm.
short album. I don't know which one to kind of reference it as, but yeah, we're working on a album or EP, and that'll be out in the next 6 months.
Awesome.
But we're also, you got 12 ounces away coming out as a single. We've recorded both a full performance video for that song and a full storyline video as well. So more content, more music videos. We've become really good friends with the Lost Lake Media guys, and so I mean, I'm more than certain we'll have them out multiple times this year to shoot not only videos but promo stuff and all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff like that. So,
Yeah, a couple of great guys there. I
oh
mean, I
yeah,
got to meet him at Freedom Jam. A couple of really cool dudes. Mark Palmieri had a question that we kind of answered, but I don't know if you've got a little bit more to add to it. And it's why do you think that Luke Combs has the level of support that he has?
I mean, if I had to say it, it's probably because, I mean, like we've said before, he doesn't write a bad song.
Right.
That and just his stigma on and off stage. I mean, from what I've seen, and I'd love to find out personally,
Mm.
but his stigma that he has on and off stage seems to be just all around a hell of a guy.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, his blue collar work ethic to, I mean, if you don't know the backstory to Luke Combs, he was actually a bar bouncer and lived upstairs in the apartment above the bar that he actually played his first show in.
Hmm.
And his work ethic, that went straight into his music career. And I mean, still having that same people tell him, I mean, he had multiple record labels down in Nashville tell him that he was too fat to be anything.
Right.
His personal appearance didn't have what country music wanted at the time. And it goes back to what I've said is don't take no for an answer. Live your dreams, follow your dreams. He pretty much said, screw that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do it anyways. And what do you know? He's probably the number one country artist in country music right now. So
I think it's amazing because I consider him and Garth Brooks to be kind of two of the most grounded guys that you'll ever meet. Again, I've not gotten the opportunity to meet Garth. I have met Luke Combs. Super cool
jealous.
guy. I got pictures to prove it. No. But no, he's a super cool guy, very laid back, almost to the point that he's shy. I mean, that's the weird thing about it. He is very, um, it's not that he's not, doesn't have an outgoing personality, but he's just seemed kind of reserved when I met him. Um, which it was a cool night. I mean, we got him to autograph a guitar and stuff that a station I was at was auctioning off, and for children's benefit, and he was more than willing to do it, you know, and
Heck
just
yeah.
super cool guy. And our daughter Callie went with us, and of course, I forget what T-shirt did she have on? I think it may have been "Cold Beer Never Broke My Heart" or something like that, and but it was he made a comment on that, and just, you know, like I said, he's just a cool guy. Of course, the bad thing about some of those shows, you can't really sit and talk to him. You know, it's kind of like
Right.
cattle herding. You're just in the chute and out again. But we did get to spend a couple extra minutes with him because we were at the back end of the line, so that made it nice.
Nice.
And really get to, you know, I asked him a couple of questions, and you know, he's kind of like you with his, you know, I can see you being to that point in your career. He's never going to be a music snob. He's never going to be one of those people that you can't approach. He's always going to be one of those guys that's going to do everything he can to please his fans.
Yeah.
And I think
I can
that's,
definitely see that.
you know,
Yeah.
mhm.
It's, I feel that too. I mean, the biggest thing that I've seen, I mean, definitely in this past year, getting to play with bigger and well-known artists is a lot of people tend to have egos, and
Oh yeah.
I can't stand it. I mean,
Mhm.
I feel like you should always leave your ego at the door. You're not as good as the person sharing the stage with you that same night. Um,
Right.
I feel like if you're sharing the same stage, you might have more followers on Facebook or Instagram and might have more music produced and more listeners a month, but that night you're kind of at the same level, you know.
Right.
So there's no need to have that big of an ego. I feel as an artist, and I don't care how big I ever get, I think I will always be one to just sit there and interact with the fans before and after the show, during the show, whatever it is.
Yeah. I think when it comes to that, the one thing that you have to remember is, you know, you started somewhere, you know. I say that a lot on here. Everybody was an independent artist at one time. Everybody got their break, and that's the difference between you, Mark Perkins, and Luke Combs or Florida Georgia Line or Jason Aldean. They started the same way, maybe not the same age. I mean, you know, I'm not saying that, but they all started as independents, but they got that break. And that does not catapult you into being a higher power, you know.
Exactly.
It
Yeah,
just means that, you know.
yeah. I was listening to actually a podcast on Spotify one day, and I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Luke Combs. I don't know, but he
Mhm.
said that you know, there's people that go to Nashville and they just get the luck of the draw, and somebody finds them out of nowhere. They're not
Right.
even one of those bands that are working day in day out singing on Broadway every single night, but they get picked up on YouTube video, and you can't hate those guys for that. I mean,
Right.
just because you sat here and you've been in Nashville and you worked for 10 plus years on trying to get somewhere with music. I mean, you can't sit there and hate the guy for getting lucky. Um,
Right.
he's
Oh,
just as lucky as you are getting a big time record deal as the guy next to you. You know.
right. And the music industry discovery has changed over the last few years because now you got the addition of TikTok above Instagram and Facebook. You know, if you go way back into years past, MySpace and all that stuff kind of led up to where we're at now. And now you've got people all the time on TikTok that are getting millions of likes and getting noticed. Another one of your Freedom Jam sisters, Alexandra Kay, she did that. She had people following her, and then all of a sudden she's in with Randy Travis, and she's in with um, uh, Tim McGraw, doing a song with him, and now she's on getting ready to go on tour with him.
Yeah, that's
You know?
crazy. I mean, yeah, I do have a TikTok.
Of course, that's your sister.
Yeah,
Way.
she's been hounding me on getting on TikTok, and I'm actually so I finally got this little kind of studio space hooked up, and so I think I'm gonna start putting some more stuff on TikTok. But yeah, um, she's been hounding me about TikTok. Yeah, Alexandra K, man, is just blowing it away with that TikTok game.
Oh yeah,
I mean, from going and singing songs while she's making coffee every morning to being on tour with Tim McGraw now.
yeah,
Like it doesn't get any better than that.
yeah. And she's got a great voice, and I can't wait. I'm going to be at the show in St. Louis. I'm going to
Heck
be
yeah.
there.
Heck
Another
yeah.
one of our Freedom Jam pals, Brandon Davis. See, the cool thing is you got one Tim McGraw, but you got two Freedom Jammers on that show.
You know it. Ain't that cool? And to
So
be able to say that I shared the stage with both of them artists is just really cool because now they're on tour with Tim McGraw and I can tell people I'm like, hey, I
yeah,
opened up for them, you know? So
exactly. Yeah, and
it's pretty cool.
quite honestly, if you look at it this way, Alexandra opened up for you.
That's true. Hey, Alexander, remember that.
Uh, Brian,
Oh Lord.
Brian says that you could open for Brian Judy, and
Oh, here we go. Here we
Brian,
go.
that's a little awkward considering you only sing in the shower, brother.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
but
Lord.
no, man. I mean, it's so awesome that uh, you know. I'll say this real quick. We've talked a lot about Freedom Jam, and the one thing about those shows is the camaraderie that comes out of that between the artists. I mean, we've had artists that have connected and written songs together. We've had artists that have, actually done duets together and just kind of palled around. You got Molly, you've got Peyton, Howie that are both down in Nashville, along with Sarah Faith and Aaron and Carly. I mean, I could.
Yeah.
And there's so many of them.
Yeah.
But they tend to kind of gravitate to each other. So that's always a cool thing. And one of the things that was a positive out of all of those shows, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's a weird thing that I always bring up to people is especially when they bring up Freedom Jam and the camaraderie that we kind of built around that show is Molly Lovett.
Mhm.
We have lived 20 minutes from each other our whole lives, and I never knew who she was until Freedom Jam. And I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt for that because we could have been writing together and collabing together all these years, and now she's in Nashville
Yeah.
and living it up and doing it big. But yeah, it's crazy. The camaraderie that has been built from Freedom Jam is just amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's super cool. And talking about Brian brought this up and I don't know that Bree is on here, but Bree Morgan, another one of our Freedom Jammers, she's actually opened up for Martina McBride.
Yeah,
Annie has opened up for a lot of people. I'm trying to think of all the people on that stage. We had Jesse and Carly, who has a couple of gold records and has opened up for a lot of people and done a lot of
yeah.
stuff with Upchurch, Ryan Upchurch.
And then our
And
first Freedom Jam, Walker County. I mean, they're out touring with Old Dominion right now. We just got done seeing them at the factory. That was a
yeah,
hell of a show.
Yeah, I mean, that's super cool. And,
Yeah,
that's a good tour for them to be on. And it's just amazing how all these artists, we get to see the growth of them from um, just basically being, some of them being, like you said, those, you know, bar bands to into being where they're at now. And it's awesome.
exactly. Yeah, it's
Cool.
crazy.
Yeah. And so we're super excited about everything and super excited about Mark and where his career is going. And we're going to keep an eye on you as always and absolutely stay in touch. And I don't know what's the date on the Poplar Bluff show?
So the date on the Popper Bluff show, we're going down there January 15th.
Okay.
So the doors open at 7. There's a link on my Facebook page for tickets. I think they're $8, so really cheap. So if you guys are from the Poplar Bluff area or around there, I'm driving 4 hours away, so
Yeah.
I'd like to see some support from everybody. But if you go on my Facebook, Mark Perkins Music, it's also on Instagram. There's a link for tickets on that for the Poplar Bluff show, as long as um, future events. And the website at markperkinsmusic.com has all of our updated shows and whatnot too as well.
Yeah, and I will say this, the ticket prices for that show, if I remember when I looked the other day at that, they're like $8.
Yeah, only $8.
Not very much at all.
No,
Uh,
no. So
you know, so it's a good prize for a good show. And I've not been to the venue, like I said, it's a newer one, and don't really know much about it. But you know, not that far from us at all. And then, of course, St. Louis, a couple hours away. It's
yeah,
just trying to find the time to get up there to go to that because I can't just go to St. Louis watch a show. You know,
right. No, I get it.
gotta hang out. Got to hit a couple of places downtown.
Oh,
Things like
for sure.
um, and so that's pretty crazy. But we're looking forward to hearing more from you. And like I said, as always, stay in touch. Um, Keep playing your music, man. Keep writing. Um, the secret to TikTok that my wife tells me is you got to do something every day. So
Yeah,
Nicole, you stay on him about that. Get him to do just a little something every day is how you do it, and he can do
exactly. Yeah,
that.
I gotta get on that. So
Yeah, so I can tell you, but you look at my TikTok, I don't do it. So I do have TikTok, but I just push you know, just kind of push the podcast on it. That's what it's there for.
right.
But
Oh, now you got her going.
yeah, she's on a roll now. Yeah, sorry, man.
Oh, it is what it is.
But again, want to give a big shout out to all of our sponsors before we get out of here. We've got Go Tuners, the go-to tuners for professional and amateur musicians. And if you want to check them out, gogotuners.com. They've got everything from pedal tuners to headstock tuners. And I have one of the headstock tuners, and it's like super teeny tiny, but they're super cool, and you can see them really well. And then they've also, like I said, got the pedal tuners, and then we have Heart to Heart Coffee. Great coffee. If you haven't checked it out, you need to. And that is heart, the number 2, heartcoffee.com. Also, going to give a shout out to our other sponsor, which thank you, Brian, is Civvies. And if you look at the bottom there, Brian, we got them covered, bro. Thank you. and Mark's got them covered. And but Civvies, worn by heroes, made with respect. Some great stuff there. Go check them out at civviesapparel.com. And also Three Rangers Whiskey. And the only reason I don't put the website out there is because I always screw up with it, because I'm sure it's threerangerswhiskey.com. Palmieri's going to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it. And but whatever it is, look for it at your local retailer. Well, good luck. My retailer sold out, and they're telling me that their supplier sold out. So I have to call the man. I have to call Uncle Dale and say, okay, just bring me a case. So we're going to have a big old party here for long.
Heck yeah.
3rangers.com. Thank you,
There
Mark.
it
I
is.
appreciate that because I definitely would have screwed that up. And I did. So 3rangers.com. Go check them out and see if they're in your local area. Again, thanks everybody for tuning in. Coming up Monday night, it's going to be another great show because we have Taylor Austin Dye, who just, by the way, recently got engaged. And she will be in on, I probably should have held on to that until Monday night, but I'm kind of blew that. But anyway, she'll be on with us Monday night. Looking forward to that. We've tried to have Taylor on before and technical issues kind of threw us out. And if it happens this time, I'm just going to drive to Nashville and I'm going to interview her live on the phone right there. We'll just do it on my phone, do it that way because I'm tired of messing with it. But until then, you guys have a great night. We appreciate it. Love you guys. Y'all take care. Mina's on here. Mina, good to see you. Mark, Thomas, Brian, Nicole, everybody, y'all, thanks a lot. Have a great night.